job that we simply cannot do as an occupying army. But whether or not they do, we will leave completely within 3 months. We are going to support what's left of our troops by bringing them home while they're still alive. Now, terrorism is a real threat. In the short term, we must protect the American people from the terrorists our misguided policies have already created. This means enhancing port security and strengthening the Border Patrol and Coast Guard, and we'll do these things. But in the long term, we must stop making more terrorists. That means stopping policies and actions which make people fear and hate us. It means listening to the legitimate grievances of peoples we have wronged and then changing our ways. Only one thing has ever ended a campaign of terror anywhere in the world: separating the handful of terrorists from the larger community upon which they depend. And this is done by ending the feelings of desperation, hopelessness, and powerlessness afflicting the people. It is done by listening to them and then actually making their lives better. It is not done by revenge and retaliation, which only create more terrorists. Now, we have at times, including, I think, the last few years, had a government with bad policies. But we are a good people. What we have long needed is a government which reflects the values and goodness of the American people. Our values and goodness are not reflected by a government which violates international law in its conflicts and denies its own citizens their constitutional rights. I have therefore ordered the release of all those being detained without charge. The closure of the prison at Guantanamo Bay. We'll find somewhere else to put Cheney and Bush. And the end of the rendition program in which suspects are kidnapped and then sent to secret foreign prisons to be tortured. Yeah. All contracts for mercenaries, all contracts with Blackwater are being canceled. This includes contracts with the DOD, the CIA, and the Department of Homeland Security, which, by the way, is being abolished. Yeah. There will be no more Blackwater goons disarming and terrorizing the poor people of New Orleans. I have also pardoned a host of political prisoners, including Border Patrol agents jailed for 12 years for doing their job against a Mexican drug smuggler bringing 700 pounds of cocaine across the border. Agents Campion and Ramos are now free. I have also pardoned Leonard Peltier and Mumia Abu-Jamal. I've given a blanket pardon to all those convicted of the possession or use of small amounts of marijuana. I do have to admit to you, however, I have not pardoned one individual. He's going to have to at least pay his fine, and that's Scooter Libby. Our values and goodness are not reflected by a government which promotes a globalization which depresses living standards at home and allows corporations to destroy the quality of life in banana republics and client states all over the world. The WTO, the IMF, and the World Bank have caused untold suffering. If we can't reform them, we will abolish them. With respect to our relationship with the government of Mexico, I have ordered the cancellation of the Security and Prosperity Partnership, or North American Union. Abandonment of plans for a NAFTA superhighway, which would have given American soil away, destroyed our sovereignty, and put nearly all American longshoremen and truckers out of work. And suspension of NAFTA completely until Mexico gives its workers union rights, protections for safety, health, and the environment, and wages at least matching the U.S. federal minimum wage.